What is going on, guys? Jack here and welcome to this Football Manager 2016 video, and today I've got for you guys a showcase of the best free agents in Football Manager 2016 at the start of any save. Hopefully you guys do enjoy this video. If you do, smash the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, go check out my channel. There is a ton of Football Manager 2016 content. So here we have a shortlist of 56 of the best free agents at the start of your games. If you want to get this into your own game, subscribe to it on the Steam Workshop. I'll have a link to it down in the description of this video. Then you come to shortlists, you'll go to import shortlist, and it'll be in a link list with all your other subscribed shortlists. I've said shortlists a lot there. Let's try not to say it again. Anyway, let's take a look at the list of players here. As you can see, there is a wide variety of players here. These are a lot of the very best, free agents in the game. It's worth noting, of course, there are a few kind of South Americans, Brazilians, Argentines. So if you're managing in England, work permits might be a problem for some of these, but there's certainly some players out there. So I guess we'll talk about two of the best kind of free agents at the start of the game to begin with. The first of which is Emmanuel Adebayor. Obviously quite a controversial, I guess, figure in English football, but he's a very good player still in FM. You can see here the Togo international is just a really great target man. He's 31 years old and turns 32 in February of 2016, so I wouldn't offer him too longer a deal, and he has pretty high wage demands, but if you're looking for that kind of backup striker, he's certainly a player worth checking out, and you can sign him for the majority of Premier League teams, at least at the moment. With the beta and stuff, player demands and such change, but he's a player that I've seen go to a variety of Premier League teams, and if you're further afield and you've got a little bit of money to spare, you can definitely get your hands on him. So a good striker, 31, not super young, but a very useful player nevertheless. Anyway, the other good player who's really worth bringing your attention to is Vlaar. Only 30 years old of Ron Vlaar, but he is out for 4 to 5 months at the start of games, and as a result, obviously he'll fail his medical initially. However, when he's recovered from his injury, he's an absolutely fantastic player to snap up. He's a Dutch international, an amazing centre-back. If we have a look at his attribute polygon here, you can see he's a very well-rounded defender. His physicals and kind of speed aren't the best, and with his injury they will tend to decline a little bit. But for 30 years old, he's a fantastic Premier League quality centre-back. Really good player, particularly if you're kind of managing as a newer or kind of slightly smaller Premier League team. Good commanding centre-back, which is nice to have. Good determination, so a good possible tutor. And just a really good player when he is fit to get into your sides. Anyway, the next player we'll do is another Premier League player, and I'm kind of going through here some of the best free agents in the game. I'm not going to go obviously through all 56, but we'll do kind of 5 or 6 to show you guys kind of a taster of what there is in this shortlist. And here we have Ricky Alvarez, who of course I believe was on loan at Sunderland, I want to say last year. He was. He's been released by Inter Milan. He was actually signed for £11 million from Argentine Alvarez, so came in for a fair bit of money. As you can see, 9 international caps. He's 27. And he's a very, very good player on a free transfer, really. As you can see, he's wanted by 6 clubs initially. If we have a look at him here, I'm playing as Watford, and he's more than happy to talk about the possibility of joining us. A very good, I think, Premier League player. He's only 27, so he's not as old as a lot of the free agents and kind of the best players, I guess, who have been released. So certainly a player worth checking out. Probably best as an attacking midfielder. For me, he doesn't have the speed, perhaps, to play out on the wing, but he's a very good player, good professional. Also has some nice preferred moves, and certainly a player that would be really good for a Premier League team, and with his kind of fairly decent personality and some nice PPMs, he'd be maybe a good tutor for some younger players. Anyway, the next player we're going to have a look at is Maja Mohammed. I got there eventually. I've been dreading having to say this guy's name, but he is a French wingback, and whilst his attributes perhaps don't look absolutely crazy, he's a really nice wingback. He's 28 years old, so a bit like Alvarez, he's not too old compared to some of the players in their 30s. He can also play left back and right back, which I really like. I wouldn't say he's a Premier League starter, but I think if you're a Premier League team or certainly a Championship team, then you can kind of offer his wage demands and meet them. He'd be a really nice backup defender just because he can play both fullback positions, and he'd be quite a nice player to have on the bench as kind of that plan B, I guess. You can see he's wanted by 6 clubs here. If we have a look at them, you can see Villa, Bournemouth, Palace, a lot of Premier League teams interested in his services. Definitely a player worth checking out, and as I said, perhaps not the amazing kind of top quality Premier League player, but as kind of a useful squad player to have, he really does fit the bill. Anyway, the next player we're going to have a look at is one that you guys probably expect. It's the player who I don't know, when you say free agents and think about free agents at the moment, you know, this guy springs to mind, and it is, of course, Paul Robinson. It's not really. Sorry, Paul. You are in this list. You are quite a good goalkeeper, and you could get you, but that's not the person I'm talking about. It's Ronaldinho, who actually, he has some weird club demands where I don't know if you'll actually be able to get him to go to a Premier League club, but he's an absolutely incredible player. 35 years old, available on a free. Look at his attributes. If you're playing in South America and you can get him, just sign him on a free. I don't care what his wage demands will be for you. He's worth signing. Those technicals, that vision, it's incredible. You can see wanted by a club. I'm wondering who it is who actually wants him. So it is a Brazilian side. I don't think you can attract him to come to Europe, unfortunately, but you can see here, looking at him, just an incredible player. A player worth showing, I feel, Ronaldinho. 99 caps for Brazil. If we look at his information, you can see some nice player-preferred moves. We look at his personal information, level-headed and fairly ambitious, so not perhaps as volatile as you might expect, or as lazy, perhaps, as I guess real life might lead you to believe he is. As you can see, prefers not to play in Europe, so I think you will be limited to maybe playing in South America. But regardless, if you can get him to come to your club, wherever you are, he's going to be a fantastic addition and just a bit of a legend of the game, really. Anyway, we'll take a look at one more player, I think, and I think we're going to take a look at Victor Montano. This guy is a Colombian striker. He doesn't look amazing on paper, but I think he'd be a really nice kind of backup striker to have in your team. He can play striker, and he can also play centre mid kind of convincingly. Perhaps an okay player if you really wanted to play him out wide. And although his attributes look really underwhelming, he's a really well-rounded player. He's also part French, I believe he is, so you won't have an issue with work permit. And to be honest, he's just quite a good player. You can see at the start of this, he's wanted by a few teams, no Premier League teams. So minor interest from Fulham, so potentially you could get this guy in the Championship. But just a really good striker, I think. And he's got some pretty good physicals for a player as old as he is. Moves into channels is nice, and a player worth checking out. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up this shortlist of the best players. All of these players are fairly decent. You've got players like Adebayor, who, of course, I think has been released by Galatasaray. He has been. So there are players here that are very good that I've not talked about. A lot of them are fairly old, but that's kind of the nature, I guess, of some of these really good players. You know, they're old, but they're still gold, I guess, is the bottom line. They're the kind of players who I definitely recommend, you know, signing for 1 or 2 seasons. They'll do a job for you. Whether or not they're kind of regular, long-term squad players, you know, remains to be seen. But they're all players which, I mean, they cost you nothing. And a lot of them, particularly if you're playing in England as a Premier League or Championship side, they'll slot straight into your first team as kind of players who are very useful to have. Anyway, guys, that is going to wrap up this video from me. If you have enjoyed this video, please do smash the like button. If you want to see more Football Manager videos here on my channel, obviously subscribe. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.